It's my second favorite patch after X39. I'd probably have to say it's Aeon. And Aeon has a really incredible story, which I can only tell apart because I wouldn't want people to make claims about it that we don't authorize. But long story short, I was at Suzanne Summers' house, and I was having dinner there with a group of scientists. This is what I like to do for fun. I hang out with old scientists, and so I'm pretty boring socially. So, but I met a scientist there that I had wanted to meet for quite some time. He's very well known. He had been doing research into natural types of cancer therapy and actually molecules that the body produces in an attempt to fight and suppress cancer cells. And he is also very, very interested in longevity. So he did this experiment, and he wanted to know, and this is really the way science works, is we ask questions about the natural environment. And he was seeing that the queen bee was living 50 to 60 times longer than the worker bee. So the question is, why is that? Genetically, they're nearly identical. So what's the difference? And he found out it was the food, and that the queen bee is the one that's consuming the royal jelly. And in the royal jelly, there is a specific peptide that regulates inflammation and allows the queen bee to live so much longer. So he isolated this peptide. He injected it into a worker bee, and just one injection of this peptide allowed the worker bee to live 5 to 6 times longer than normal. So now he said, okay, well, can we apply this to human beings? And remarkably, he found the same chemical exists in human beings. So he said, well, why don't human beings, live, a couple hundred years? And interestingly, the reason is because this peptide is produced in the liver, and it begins to decline at about age 30. So we lose the advantage of this. So I began to look at finding, well, if this is already a peptide that exists in the human body, maybe we could find a way to turn it back on. And that's what the Aeon patch became. So the Aeon patch elevates this peptide. And what we found, we did about 9 clinical studies on it. And what we found in our testing is that it is a broad spectrum anti-inflammatory. It will reduce inflammatory cytokines, C-reactive proteins, homocysteine, lipid peroxides, fibrinogen. So that was it. That's one of its main benefits. We did another clinical study with Dr. Tom Budzinski, and Dr. Budzinski and his wife, Helen Budzinski, another PhD. They found out that within seconds of applying the Aeon patch to the body, that it would bring the autonomic nervous system into balance. And this is why when people wear the Aeon patch, first it reduces the stress on the nervous system, and then it begins to elevate antioxidants and reduce inflammation. So Aeon patch, for many years, not surprisingly, was a top-selling product. And I love it because it not only do people get the daily benefits of the product, but there are some very, very serious longevity benefits to using Aeon as well.